Yeah.
This meeting is being recorded.
So, yeah, your birthday is today. Any last
hmm
words for for 29?
I mean, I'm looking forward to it, to be honest. I
Yeah.
always hated to age, but now I don't know. I like to get old.
Mm,
It has its beauty, you know. I mean, old is like 29, but you know what I mean. To get older.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I feel like a man, it's different because like just as a man, I feel like I have to deserve my value, you know. Like the more I value level up, the more like valuable I become to,
Yeah.
society, to
Mm,
uh,
yeah,
women
I see
are
that.
primitive. They are more like can be caretaking from the beginning, you know. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
I see that, but it's I don't want to like I prefer not to live in that paradigm because it's so much pressure, you know. It's
mm,
just like my mission is just to be myself, you know, and I don't really care about if yeah, if I'm just myself, I'm valuable. That's what I believe, you know. I don't have to have X amount of money or whatever,
mm,
or to have X amount of girls. That's yeah, that's how I see it.
yeah, it's not so much about the money or the girls for you.
No, it's more like just my internal state, you know. It's just like a journey of discovery
Mm,
to yeah, to know who I actually want to be or how I prefer to be in the world.
mm, hmm. So can you tell can you tell us a little bit about how your journey has been? I mean, now
hmm
on your last 28th uh, birthday day, and then what's been happening up until now? Like, tell us a little bit about where you came from,
hmm
what you went through, uh, and uh, and yeah, what's been happening for you up until now?
Okay. So I've been raised in Belgium, in Bruges, and yeah, mainly as a kid, when I was going to school, I was 8 years old, and then a friend told me he was doing judo, you know, and I was
Mm,
like, yeah, let's try it out, you know. So I got like a little bit hooked to judo, and yeah, from my 8 until my 22, I just basically went all in on that period, on that stage of my life, just doing judo. And yeah, I gave it my all, you know. I
wow,
wanted to be like an Olympic champion, you know. It was my dream.
wow, from 8 years old.
Yeah.
How did it,
So, mm,
how was it? What was your most memorable moment from your judo?
mm, that's a good question. I never really asked myself that. But I think my most memorable moment is just the company of all my friends, just having a group together with all the same mission, and we just like understood each other. And when I was around 15 years old, I was also like in boarding school. So it just was with my mates 5 days together every week.
Mm,
And we were just training every day, 4 hours a day, just
wow.
going so hard. We
Yeah.
all wanted to become like the best we could. And it was really like a good experience, like a bonding experience, you know, like
How old were you
healthy
then?
competition. Yeah, I did it from my 15 until 18. So I did like 3 years in boarding school.
So it was boarding jiu-jitsu school. No, judo school.
Judo, it was a judo school. So we had just 20 hours in a week, lessons of school instead of like 38. And then the rest of the time we just trained judo and we just had a
Wow.
little bit of yeah, lessons on the side. Yeah, so that was like very memorable, and the other part was just like the moments where you're really in this flow state when you're just like when your mind is just still, and then you're just doing judo. It's like an art, you know, and you just feel free, and then your performance in judo just goes up. so dramatically as well.
Mm.
And I also experienced the other side of the coin when I had so much pressure on myself
Mm-hmm.
because at certain moments, everyone expected me to become like Belgium, the champion of Belgium, for
Oh
example.
wow.
And if I would, hmm?
Why did I expect that?
Because I was just the best, in Belgium, and I was so good. And
Wow.
if I would lose, everyone would be like, "Oh yeah, Karim lost. What happened?" And if I would win, it's like, "Oh yeah, of course he won." So it was just like fighting not to lose. And it
Ah,
was this kind of horrible experience. But now I realize I just put the pressure on myself. But when I'm 15, 16 years old, I don't
mm.
see that.
The whole world on your shoulders, like athlete.
Yeah, yes. And then even your mom and your dad starts expecting it as well.
Wow.
Yeah, it was hard, a lot of pressure and not a pleasant experience to be honest.
Hmm. So it was a uncomfortable teenage years for you.
Yeah,
Hmm.
exactly. Also not really in that school there weren't really girls too much. There were like a couple of girls, but not too many girls, so I didn't really have the ABC going to school, meeting some girls when you're 16, 17, and just like boys together fighting and growing up.
So what happened at 22 when you
Mm.
quit? Or
Yeah, I think it was just a natural occurrence. I just realized it wasn't my destiny to become Olympic champion. I wasn't good enough.
Hmm.
Life just sent me in another direction because I really remember I went once to Japan for 3 weeks of judo when I was around 19 years old, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then in these 3 weeks, I just completely transformed into another person. Suddenly, I was competing with guys in Belgium who were kind of on the same level to me. And then when I went to three weeks training in Japan, I just completely crushed them. But then the funny part is, when I came back to Belgium and I stayed 1 month in Belgium, I actually came back to the same level as these guys. So then I realized I can train as hard as I want. Just my environment is gonna shape me. I'm never gonna win from these Japanese guys.
Wait, so you went to Japan and they crushed you, or you crushed them?
So I went to Japan
Yeah,
for 3 weeks, and then I
yeah,
trained all the time with Japanese people, all the
yeah,
time.
yeah.
And I just became so good because of the
Ah,
environment, because I always trained with these Japanese guys.
yeah, yeah,
But then after these 3 weeks, when I came back to Belgium,
yeah.
I crushed everyone.
Ah, okay.
But then when time went on,
Yeah.
and after 1 month staying in Belgium, for example,
Um,
I came back to the same level before Japan,
yeah.
just because of my environment.
Interesting. So you experienced how much the environment was
Yeah.
shaping you
Hmm.
drastically in 3 weeks,
Yeah.
or 1 month, like 3 weeks and then 1 month back again.
Yeah. It was
Wow.
insane. And it
Wow.
was so frustrating for me as well. I was like, yeah, I'm so good, and suddenly you
Yeah.
just go back again to the same level.
Why do you think that happened? Why do you think you declined? In like one thing is the environment, but what do you think happened internally?
Mm. Yeah, it's just like I remember when I came back, when I went to Japan, like the first training, everyone is so much better, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're just like giving 120% of your power and all your energy. You become so creative to just become to their level.
Mm,
Yeah, but once you get back, you don't need that anymore, and
mm,
yeah, you don't really have the same stressors anymore.
mm. Would you say that you, in that moment, like those 2 months especially, you were um, adjusting yourself according to your external
Yeah. Hmm.
What can you learn from that? So imagine you come back from Japan and you meet those Belgian guys again. How can you
Hmm.
make sure that you don't decline as much in that month?
That's yeah. I've thought about this as well, and now I have like a new insight, to be honest, because if I really want to, I can still be in Japan, just by a feeling.
Mm,
So the
yeah.
mistake I made when I was 16 years old was yeah, like you said, I adjusted to my external instead of focusing on the feeling and maybe even visualizing that I'm still fighting in Japan.
Imagining this huge Japanese guy instead of this Belgian guy, and then
Yeah,
just like he doesn't know what hit him, and you're like, well, in my head, you knew what was coming. You just like from the inside
yeah,
out. Yeah.
that's like a cool insight, and maybe people who will do judo today will eventually like get this insight.
Mm,
But at the time I was fighting, it was basically like impossible to have that yeah much awareness, and also the trainers didn't have nowhere near that awareness.
mm, yeah. Yeah. Well, you see it today as well in all sports how
Yeah.
it's becoming more professional and um, more. Yeah, it's just like people are becoming better at what they do. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
okay, that's interesting, man. That's really
Yeah.
really shaped you how you are today. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about. So now we're skipping a few years, but like when
Mm-hmm.
you were uh, when we started working together, what were you doing before we started working together? Uh, how was your life? How was your mindset? How was
Mm-hmm.
your internal, your external reality before we started working together?
Mm-hmm.
That was in, I think, January or February. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
before
Yeah.
last year, for example.
Mm-hmm. So my main goal at the time was just to become the best in poker. So it's actually a pattern. Just from judo it went to poker. So
Yeah.
it was not, yeah, there was for sure some differences, but that was like my main goal. Everything was like built around poker. And I was also like searching for peace. I was already reading books like The Power of Now for quite some time.
Mm,
I was really like investigating in that stuff, but
mm-hmm,
I really had troubles to really live it. It was more in my mind. I kind of knew how to in my mind intellectually understand all the concepts, but I
mm-hmm,
had trouble to really live it.
mm,
Yeah.
mm,
And regarding girls as well, it was not really a thing in my life. I When it came to me, it was more because of luck and coincidence, and it wasn't because I didn't really believe for some reason that it was a part of my reality based of my past or something.
mm, mm. Yeah, maybe to your teenage years when the runner girls around you, because it was
Yeah,
boarding school.
could be. Mm.
Hmm. Okay, and and how you said it was mostly in your mind. How was your inner state? How was your inner chatter
Mm.
in your daily life? Uh, how was your mindset? How are you? How
Mm.
are you being? How are you doing? Um,
Mm. I was most of the time doing quite good, I think. Yeah. But my inner chatter was quite a lot of hateful thoughts, I would say. There was a lot of hate towards myself.
hmm,
Yeah. And I was also searching with sometimes I did like LSD, for example, to search for like insights in my mind. So I was really starting to look inside what's in here, how can I adjust this to create a more experience that's more in harmony with with everything. Yeah. And I also remember, I don't think I've told you this before. I did 1 year of NoFap as well.
1 year. Nice.
Yeah, but I don't think it was like a really good thing for me.
No.
It was more harmful.
Yeah, David
It
Goggins style, yeah.
Yeah, it was more a mindset of yeah, I'm not good enough, so I'm gonna not fap
Yeah.
for 1 year, and then the girls are gonna love me. But eventually I realized, yeah, it didn't help. Yeah, shit.
Yeah.
It's just you. For me, it was useless, you know.
Yeah, I see.
It was I wanted to f try to fix a problem, but no fap was not the solution at all, you know. It was
No.
deeper.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting. What did you learn though from the NoFap 1 year?
Yeah, I learned that it's quite easily to put boundaries on your actions, you know, and with a discipline, with a good discipline, you can do it, you know, because it was hard for me to not do it, but I did it
Yeah.
eventually just by saying to myself
Yeah.
or believing that it was good for me, you know, I was believing it was really good for me, so then I didn't do it, you know. So that was what I learned from it. And yeah, that not everything you hear on the internet on YouTube is actually good for you, you know. You have to like really think about it when you start with something, you know, if it's really like good for you or not.
Yeah, check your sources.
Yeah.
If you see the guy in the basement of well, right now I'm in my childhood home myself.
Yeah.
Like you see, look at the guy and you're like, okay, this guy has never talked to a girl, and then like, yeah, no fap's gonna get you girls. You're like, like the doctor
Yeah.
who smokes cigarettes, you know what I mean? Um,
Yeah.
uh,
Mm.
well, I actually know a doctor who's a great doctor who smokes cigarettes, so like bad example, but personal trainer who looks shit, you know? Uh,
Yeah.
Personal trainer who needs a personal trainer himself. That's the one. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, um, interesting because you're what I noticed is we can learn stuff, valuable insights, even from I'm not gonna say mistakes, but you went one road. Okay, it was not that one. Let me go back. But you learn something
Mm-hmm.
from that journey as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
hmm. And yeah,
Yeah, I was just gonna add on that it was more of an escapism, you know, the nofap. It was I needed to look deeper and I thought that would solve everything, you know, but it's not.
did you find out what you were escaping or no during that 1 year?
Yeah, I just thought it would fix my issue my problem that I had around girls because I just wanted girls, you know,
Yeah,
and I wasn't succeeding and I didn't know why or whatever. And I thought no fap would solve it.
yeah,
But yeah, it didn't solve anything, you know. It was not that simple. It was more deeper, you know.
yeah. And I think it's a really good insight because a lot of guys, myself included, I when I was 19, I was like, no fap, you know, and it helped me to an extent, but I believe it helped
Mm.
me because I was also approaching girls, uh,
Yeah.
and it helped
Mm.
me with my desire, like, fuck it, I'll try my best and have sex with this girl tonight. And I'm like, come on, just from horniness, you're like, come on, let's go, because like you did
Mm-hmm.
that for whatever how long it was, and then she's like,
Yeah.
she's like, okay, uh, but it helps with that, like, oh, I want that, but it has its like limit. It doesn't fully.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's not gonna solve a different problem. I feel.
Yeah.
Um, hmm. No, interesting insight that you had. Um, what's your honest experience of working together with me?
Mm-hmm. So in the beginning, I in the first 3 months we worked together, I wasn't really there were some parts of myself that were preventing me to give it my all. And then, yeah, I really enjoyed the calls we had, but I didn't really see that much progress but now I realize it just was yeah, you can't really help someone if he doesn't want to be helped, you know. It's like, it's pretty useless.
Mm.
So in the first 3 months, I felt, yeah, there wasn't much progress. But then once I started making the shift inside my own mind, that I said, yeah, now I'm just giving it my all and 100%. Then I basically made the shift in like 1 hour or 2 hours or like a day, just complete transformation, you know.
Yeah,
It goes pretty quick.
man. Because
So
what?
it's just like it's like it really starts with your own, you know. You just have to be like really want it, you know.
Mm. Yeah, because
Yeah,
man, what happened for you at the boot camp?
yeah. And it still happens like today. I can shift into it pretty quickly. So yeah, and the boot camp it was just like an eye opener for me to what's possible, you know. It goes so beyond girls, you know. It's just like a complete change in reality. How I feel different, and
Mm.
how I see the world through a different lens, you know. Completely
Yeah,
different.
yeah. Because when I saw you, I'm like, this guy is good. Like, what do you mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Uh-huh.
I'm like, yeah, he's doing good, man.
Yeah.
Like, girls were loving you. I'm like, and the feedback, I'm like, talk to another one. I don't know, it's going good. But like,
Mm,
yeah. Now, of course, there's always some stuff, but it was like, yeah, it was great. Um,
mm,
yeah, that's awesome to hear, man. It's awesome to be a part of it, to see your shift really, and just your.
yeah.
I noticed one thing in the first part, which was you felt like you felt a little more happier with yourself, and now it just seems like you're like, of course, still working on it, like
Mm,
you have so much lighter energy.
yeah. Yep. My sister said that as well to me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
You feel better, like just being like
Yeah. I
that's
just feel overall more happy, you know. Less I don't really have that sense of lack or not as often that I used to do.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's really cool. Um, what um, mm,
Yeah, and I just wanted to add as well, like even when I made a shift in my mind that I would go 100%
mhm.
for it, I also perceived you like in a different way for some reason.
Interesting. Would you
And the information felt like really that I needed it, you know?
um, can you elaborate on that?
Hmm. Yeah, it's just I've made the shift in my mind to fully trust you and that the information I would get would really be beneficial for me and that
Mm,
would really help me. So I would fully give it the information that I was provided, I would really trust it and give it my all, you know, and really actually believe that it would help me and it really
yeah,
helped me all the time, you know.
yeah.
So yeah.
Mm,
And
mm.
maybe because of that mind shift, it also influences, yeah, my environment in some way that it will really give me the information that I need.
Ah, hmm. Yeah, it's like it's not even about um that my teaching becomes better, uh, or that you're just receiving my teaching better. You're receiving all teaching better, like from life, from your experience in a
Yeah,
way that's more like you're trusting more the
yeah,
stuff. Of course, you have the insight of not trusting everything on YouTube, like check your resources, but if the source is good, you're like, okay, then then
Yeah.
let's believe that. Let's do that. Let's give it
Mm-hmm.
let's give it our all and not resist it before we've tried it and really tried it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's awesome.
And it's such a huge difference. It's insane. The energy shift is insane with that mindset.
Mm, mm, yeah, yeah. You're more flowing with life then. And
Mm-hmm.
uh, can you tell me more about the energy shift? Like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Um, yeah, I think it's mainly because you kind of say to the universe and to yourself, I want this. I want to be that person, you know.
mm,
And when you made that shift, it's just like, yeah, you just shift into a different person that has a goal, and you just do everything to go into that direction, you know. And then the universe provides you with resources, and it helps you, and it's like positive momentum. And so yeah, because I've told you this before, it's like in these past 2 weeks, or even in these 3 days on the boot camp, I
mm-hmm.
felt like I made more progression in a way in the direction I wanted to go than in my whole life, you know.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Hmm.
In the past, I would feel like I was always like running in a circle
Yeah.
and
What
never going
was,
to the point I want to.
so what was the breakthrough? What were you breaking through? Like, what was the breakthrough that you got that
Mm.
allowed you to actually break this cycle and go forward toward what you wanted?
Yeah, I think it's very simple. It's just choosing that I want to be a certain person. I really wanting it, you know,
Yeah.
and saying to myself, I want to be that way, or want to have such a life, and really mean it. Not not like a little bit, but just like, yeah, all in, you know, really mean it, you know. I want
Yeah.
to be that person, and whatever obstacles come into my way, I will embrace them, you know, and I will just yeah, embrace them with love, and I will go through them.
Mm. Yeah.
Mm.
That's a powerful way of living.
Yeah, and it's fun, you know, because everything is like you see everything that happens, you see it for a positive reason, and that it happens for you. You know, you're not like, oh my God, this happens to me, blah blah blah. Yeah,
Yeah, like no, don't be a victim.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, create your own suffering.
Yeah. Mm.
Is there anything else that you would like to share?
Mm. Not really. I just want to share that I'm really grateful for the connection that we have, and for the yeah, for the thing we are going through, you know. And I feel like there's a way more to come, and I'm
Mm.
very excited, you
Yeah,
know. It's just yeah, yeah.
it's like all those things you're waiting for. You notice that it's all here for you. Just it's
Yeah,
waiting for you, actually.
yeah.
Yeah,
And I always knew that they were there deep down, because I could sometimes like see them, you know. The universe are sometimes like giving it to me, you
yeah,
know.
teasing you.
Yeah. So yeah, it's really just here right now at this moment, and you just have to go towards the direction, you know. And it's
Yeah,
not gonna be like some people always say, yeah, I have to be patient, but yeah, but not really, you know. It's just here right now for you. You just have to go for it. You don't have to wait for 5 years to have your dream life.
no, man. Like it's the communication. You're waiting for something and it's waiting for you. It's like,
Yeah.
uh, yeah. Hmm. And that's lovely. I was listening to this. I was at this festival yesterday, and there was this one song, this last artist. So it was the last artist of the festival, and she was
Hmm.
singing. She has this famous song. It's called "Call Me," and she's talking to this guy and saying like, "Be a man and call me." And she says something along the lines of, "If nobody of us takes the step, then we're not making any steps." Like,
Yeah.
and of course, I'm there philosophing while on the festival, and then I'm like, oh yeah, it's like, like life, you gotta take steps towards what you wanna. what you want. The life's waiting for you as well. So it's the interaction with the world, with yourself, really. And that's really cool when you have other people who also have that, awareness, and you can like, wow, we're interacting, like really interact. What's your next what's your plans for the future? So in your dating life, but also in your business, because something is changing within your poker as well. You mentioned.
So my business, I mainly want to play poker for fun, and I would like to. I know I can do that. I would like to create a coaching business to just help people in general, and to give, to really help people and then guide them in a way, and how to live life. So that's what I want to do. And I also have like a lot of thoughts, imaginations that I just sit at a poker table in a live tournament, for example, and that I just know what to do exactly at which moment, beyond logic, just pure intuition. And I know that's something I can get to such a state. It's like standing behind the roulette and just knowing exactly which number is going to come. It's like influencing the field.
Have you had that experience on the poker table?
Yes, but very rarely.
Yeah.
It's only, I think it's mainly being in a state of total outcome independence, and then you're getting like access to these features. But if you're just in a state of craving and want more and more and more, you don't really have these special abilities.
Yeah, interesting. So is your coaching going to be teaching about this type of experience?
That could be, yeah. I don't really know which direction my coaching is going to go, but it's this would excite me to teach that.
Yeah, then let's take a step towards that, huh?
Yeah,
Take the first step. That's how
indeed.
everything starts.
Mm-hmm.
And in your dating, what's your plans for the future?
Yes, I do want to have a girlfriend
Mm-hmm.
and build a more really like experience through that relationship, like deeper depths about ourselves, like really learn about each other, understand each other more deeply, like improve communication skills, and also become more in tune with the body and stuff. And I really, and just a general curiosity for the person in front of me, really get to know her,
Yeah.
And also just, a girlfriend, but also just hanging out with girls just in daily life. It doesn't have to be like sexual. It's just having fun with them as well.
Yeah. Being around their energy and act with them. You see, there's this other gender that's
Yeah.
completely different from us in many ways, and that's so fascinating. Yeah.
They don't always have to be hot to talk to them.
No, they can be it's when you're outcome independent, right? You just notice that this person is actually fascinating.
Yeah. Because yesterday I approached two girls that were not my type at all, but I just felt like it, and I did it, and it felt very good.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's cool.
And also give.
Yeah.
And also give them a great experience. And then you notice that the girls that you find very attractive, you become less, I'm gonna say, outcome dependent, because you're like, well, I gave this girls I was not attracted to a great experience. I can also give this girls a great experience. It's really interesting when you go and talk with girls that you're not attracted with, just with making their day.
Yep. It's like a new sense of freedom, right?
yeah, you know that you have something to offer everyone, and you become less
Mm,
dependent on the stuff that you're getting, and that's when you
yeah.
become authentic, more relaxed,
Mm-hmm.
more in the present moment, because you're less like get, and more give and
Yeah.
have fun. And
Yeah.
yeah, man, that sounds very exciting for your
Mm-hmm.
for both of that. And I'm grateful to be a part of that,
Yeah.
to experience that. All right. Then we say ciao to everyone who's watching.